Hey!
Oh my God! Circle Alert is back. The finale is over. Circle Alert Season 3 has concluded, but this is an amazing day because we are back and we are doing our first post-game interview. We are here with Matt Pappadia, a.k.a. Ashley. Matt, how are you doing today?
I am reeling, Max. I am reeling. Thank you.
I know, we cannot believe that you did not win, but second place, I mean...
Second place is pretty good.
Pretty good.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Pretty good.
I will take it. I played with the end game in mind, and the final five was, I was like, let me take it from there, and then from there, it's kind of out of your hands, and you really just have to say, circle gods, do what you got to do, and have the best time with it, you know?
Yeah, the final ranking system is Max and I have talked about this. It's extremely complicated compared to the other like reality shows where it's like juries voting for you.
Ben, I literally was telling the cast this the other day. If I had to change one thing about the game, it would be that the final five and anybody who's blocked gets to see all the previous or all the episodes that they happen, just like Big Brother, and the blocked players vote on the final five.
That would be fun. Yeah, because I guess the only reason they don't do it right now is because they have the jury, so to speak, would be completely in the dark on what everybody's done in the game.
Right.
Yeah.
But just give them a TV and the house, like Jury House, like Big Brother, and I think it would definitely change the game quite a bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that would be great. Yeah, it's Max and I have speculated so much. We'd love to actually see like the votes at the end of every week, like they do in Survivor. It would be really nice to get a little insight as to how it's going, because every week we try and like break it down, and we're so confused.
You and I both, Ben. You and I both.
Yeah. The final rating system is such a crapshoot, and we're not taking anything away from James because from what we see, he clearly did an amazing job. And I know that you wouldn't either, but it is rather perplexing. Although from what we've seen, I would say that this season is definitely probably the most strategic voting that we have had in definitely the Circle US. And I will say between Circle US and UK, I would say that we have seen probably the most strategic. Matt, have you watched any other Circle seasons out of the US?
So I watched Circle UK, and what was the name of the first winner? Circle UK. It was a guy,
Alex.
Right?
Yeah, Alex Hoburn. Yep.
Yeah, he was brilliant. Absolutely.
Yeah, he was awesome.
Yeah, he was great. Yep.
Who did he play? What was the name of the girl? Kate. Or something?
Kate. Yes.
Yeah, Kate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I saw his season, and that was brilliant. But I had just found out about the show, The Circle, and then a month later, things are happening. I'm in quarantine before I go into film, so while I was in quarantine, that's when I was watching the UK season 1.
Oh, interesting. So did you watch UK season 1 before you watched US Circle?
No. So I was watching season 1 like when the first application process started.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah.
How did you get into the Circle? Were you recruited or did you apply?
Producer slid into my DMs.
Nice.
Wow. Okay. Nice.
Yeah, I'll take it. I will take it.
How has Ashley felt about everything and her fame by proxy? Has she had any fans come up to her yet?
So Ashley's a math teacher, right? So she's been a math teacher for like 6-7 years now. So she's saying that she's having students message her being like, Miss O, there's literally someone playing your twin on The Circle, like not even imagining that it's just her face blasted on Netflix. So she is just like, it's surreal for her, you know what I mean? Because it's just like her face everywhere, and her students for the past sliding into her DMs like, hey, what up?
That's awesome.
Yeah. All right, Matt. All right, I'm gonna get into this. I can't hold it anymore. Do you know what a fucking s'more is?
S'more. Of course I do.
All right, what's in a s'more?
Are you saying s'more or s'more?
A s'more.
Okay, I wasn't sure if I got something wrong. Okay, a s'more, graham cracker.
Yeah.
Hershey's chocolate, but I do it with almonds, and marshmallow, but I like it a little bit black, and then another graham cracker on top.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you do know.
Hell yeah, of course.
Okay.
All right. On the show, when you were introduced and you were talking about Ashley and yours introduction, you said she pulled out graham cracker and chocolate,
Yep.
but did not mention the marshmallow. And ever since then, Max has been on a tirade.
You're right. You're right. And I'm not sure. Chocolate and crackers only. I'm not sure if I even said it but I do know what a s'more is, but
okay, good. I'm going. All right, we can continue on with the interview. I just had to get this off my chest.
Yeah, Max got to finally scratch that itch.
Ooh, this has been weeks. This is why we had you on.
Yeah, we did. All right, that's it for Circle Alert.
All right, thank you guys.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
So let's. Oh, hey, there we go. We got Sophia's girlfriend Savannah here.
Love her so much.
Hi, Savannah. So let's talk about Sophia. You guys had a pretty close relationship in the circle. Do you want to talk about how that relationship with her and the band like helped keep you afloat? I also thought like your fluidity in the game with like being able to still keep relationships outside of your immediate alliance is what really helped you to get to
definitely
number 2 in the rankings at the end. Do you want to elaborate on that a little bit more?
Yeah, of course. So I came in, initial strategy was go for an alpha that's going to do most of my work for me, right? Who's going to be influencer. I'd rather someone be influencer multiple times and save me than me be influencer multiple times, because you get that target on your back. So I asked for a conversation with Calvin or with Nick, and I was given Nick. So you get what you're given. And when I had that conversation with Nick, first conversation, I'm like, it's really important. We don't have time to take it slow. I set up a final 2 from the get-go, and me and Nick had that. So having Nick was good. And when Sophia came in and we connected on the level of my coming out story and just her sweet sense of the way she spoke, I thought she was super warm. It was just a no-brainer to bring Sophia in. And Sophia having Jackson, I was like, wow, that's numbers. So because Nick was in the band alliance that we had formed, because Nick was my final 2, my loyalty was always going to be to the numbers, not only because of the numbers, but because I wanted to show Nick he's my one, he's my loyal. But what they got fishy when I had Charlie's Angels with Rook and Kay, right? And my band was wanting to get Kay out. And I did say, like, I don't know if she's a catfish. I'll keep my eyes peeled, trying to weigh out the both. But after I sent home Calvin, I could tell that I definitely rubbed elbows the wrong way.
Do you think in that moment you should have gotten rid of maybe Kay instead of Calvin? Like it does seem like maybe had you had a stronger relationship with Kay by the end of the game, you may have won the whole thing.
Absolutely. But no, I still would have done it the same. I think Kay played an incredible game, but she also played with grace, right? And she had kindness and forgiveness the whole time. I feel like if I sent Kay home, that would have just furthered Calvin's want to get me out. Not that he did say,
and Roxana probably too.
Exactly. I think it would have pissed them off more, but I think sending Calvin home and being able to do damage control with the girls was a much better strategy for my personal game.
So, did you feel that you never really got that relationship back with Kay from a strategic level in the game the rest of the way out?
I got in my own head. So talking to Kay at finale, I didn't realize she was focused on talking to Nick because she was unsure about his alliance with her. But in her seeking out chats with Nick, I felt like she didn't want to speak to me anymore because I sent home Calvin. So in that game, when you have choices between you're in a group chat, you got to know what you're sending quick. It's like you got to make a choice, either left or right. And if you don't know where you stand, sitting on the fence, you will be blocked.
Right. Yeah.
So do you have any, so since you did not win, do you have any sense of what you would have done differently? Are there any major moves that you would have changed? Do you know in your head what you would have done?
Yeah. I believe instead of calling Kay out, even though I thought it was good to show loyalty and good to not be on the fence, when Jackie asked me that savage question. I believe I should have said that she was my biggest threat only because she just came in, and I don't want her ruining the relationships I've made with these 4 people, but I'm looking forward to building one with her.
Wow.
And so you think based on that, then maybe somebody would have rated you higher in the final ratings?
So.
Kay would have, right?
I believe so.
And that
because
would have been the difference to take you over James. So it was just that one decision.
Yeah.
Damn, that's heartbreaking.
So.
Does that keep you up at night?
So. You know, it does, but it also doesn't. It's a double-edged sword because, like, how lucky am I to say I was runner-up, but also started as a catfish? You know, that in itself.
Yeah.
I mean,
you just can't let it bother you, but you also can't help but not let it bother you. I do understand.
And in a season with a lot of catfish hunters too.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, like, Kay would not let it, for being such a good player, Kay would not let it go. You know?
Yeah.
Like,
hey, just fucking drop it. Who cares?
And that's another reason why I started skirting toward Nick. You know, a lot of people, a lot of viewers are like, why did you turn on Kay? And I'm like, homies, I didn't turn on Kay. I saved her in the first blocking, and I never threw her under the bus in my group chat. But when Kay started speaking about hunting catfish, and I sent Calvin home, and she wasn't directing any chats to me in the group, 1, 2, 3, how are you not going to say, oh, Kay's, I'm not in good lines with Kay?
Yeah. Did anyone in the band suspect that you were a catfish?
No.
That's great.
No.
Yeah,
they didn't seem to also care about catfish.
Yeah, I know.
Because I mean,
which is great.
Strategic, I mean, if you're kind of on the more strategic side, unless you're like, hey, I mean, you're not really going to care about catfish. You're just going to care about numbers too. But also, Matt, you obviously did an amazing job as a catfish. So don't think I'm taking that away from you.
No, not at all. But I said it since day one. First line I said walking in was, "It's a numbers game, baby. It's a numbers game."
Yeah,
and you got to know where your numbers are at all times.
Yeah. And I think you and Nick and Sophia did that really well. You guys were always, I think, very focused on that. And we talked about this a lot on the show too. It definitely seemed like, given that the house was divided, it seemed like you guys were more on the same page than they were.
Agreed.
Like you were voting consistently Nick as number 1, and you were voting down Kay more often than they were being consistent with their number 1 votes and their last place votes, which I think really helped you guys get influencer positions.
Are you allowed to talk about stuff like that? Can you be like, we are going to vote Nick number 1 and we're going to vote? Yeah, I didn't think so.
No, we can't talk ratings directly, but I believe what solidified that for Sophia and I, being on the same page, was we already knew that Nick was good with both of us, but going into that influencer chat and discussing the possible blockings the way we did and talking about Nick the way we did, I thought it was just obvious that we were like, yeah, he's our front running man. Let's put him up top and we're good with him. I trust him completely with our game.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about the final rankings. Can you say how you ranked each person?
I don't believe I can.
Okay,
really?
That's
okay. But you can guess who I put
can
first,
speculate.
And I'll blink.
Well, I think we all know everybody rated Nick and Kay very tactically.
Yep.
Because they were the hashtag 2 Titans, battling it out the entire game.
That's right.
So I think we saw that for sure. I think the big question was with James having gotten first place in the last 2 rankings. I think it was still a surprise that people didn't view him as an equal threat as Kay and Nick, and
myself included in those people.
Okay, yeah, interesting, yeah. So yeah, and is that just because he came in late in the game?
You know what, Ben? It's funny because my bottom 2 ratings, I was like, okay, strategic, and then I didn't know where to place Isabella or where to place James, and so for me, I just came down to. And I was praying. I'm like, God, what do I do? What do I do? Because this is so hard. And at the end of the day, I went with when everyone was talking about their answers and how the money would help them or what they'd use it for. And reading James' answer, it just went through me. And so I went with, honestly, it wasn't strategy at all. I went with my heart in my number 1 spot. And I said, I'm going to pick the person that, despite the game, I'm going to pick the person that if I don't win the money, I would want them to. And
your and James's connection really grew too.
Yeah.
It seemed like at first he had you on his perfect catfish radar. Which is like James was like he was amazing with his with figuring out who was a catfish.
Except for Vince.
Except for Vince, he could not figure out Vince at all. He was just like, this dude's weird.
Vince haunts all of us. You guys ever see Haunting of Hill House with the bent neck lady and she's over her in the middle of the bed at the night? You ever see that? That's Vince for us.
You are a dirty girl, Circle.
She is.
But I think that your and James's relationship was actually a very crucial factor to these final rankings towards the end here, because we see you two on top, and I think it looked like you guys both rated each other high is what it looked like at the end. And I think that also was sort of like the bleeding between the two alliances that occurred of it was you two that came together from those two. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, so it was really, really nice because the first conversation I had with James was mostly strategy. And then the second was just heartfelt connection. And that first conversation was when he was asking who Vince was. And I knew he thought Isabella was a catfish. And I didn't want to completely throw Isabella under the bus, but I thought throwing the olive branch of saying it's her and being like, you know, James, I can maybe see where you're coming from. I think that was like, oh, maybe Ashley's not as tight with the band. And then the conversation about, you know, his trans brother and just a beautiful, heartfelt one-on-one conversation between two humans. I think we connected inside the game and outside the game even before we got outside.
Yeah, those were some really cool moments to see. Definitely.
This was a really big part about, you know, and not just part of your strategy and about why you were so successful as a catfish, but a big part of your story on the show was having these big heartfelt moments. And it happened in a lot of the episodes. And it was like, it was really awesome watching you share stories about your personal life. What has the fan reception been like? Like, have people reached out to you? I've definitely seen stuff that people were very inspired. What has that been like for you personally? Because we really just loved it. And what was that like for you?
Thank you. Very blessed that, you know, Netflix gave us that platform to do that and make it to the final edit with the time limits that they have. So I'm very blessed. But I've been getting messages from people throughout the world about so many things that came up in passing. I didn't even realize, like bringing up that I was epileptic once out loud, or my mom's lupus, right? Or trans rights, or coming out. And what is really, really beautiful about all the sense of messages is hope. And so if I can instill hope in anybody and they instill it back in me just by reaching out, I think it's a beautiful thing to be able to share hope. So I'm really happy with what's the outcome of that. For
That's
sure.
awesome. And you don't really see too many reality competition shows that are like really raising that platform up and giving that voice. Like, I thought that was really cool. Like James actually, after he won, when he was talking about that, where he's like, hey, we really got to give a great message out this season. I thought that was like a really great moment. And I just love that about your cast, that you guys were all about that. And it seemed to make you like such a close cast. Like, it felt very like season 1 vibes a little bit, where like you guys are as tight as they were, whereas I think season 2, there's a lot of drama going on there. But like season 1 and 3 is tight. Like you guys had like a really good cast. You were really close together.
We the second finale, which was only like that finale when they announced winner, we have 7-10 minutes. That's what we get. And so we all exchanged numbers, and our flights were booked like 3 hours later the next day. And we're in a whole group chat, and we're just audio voice memoing each other, laughing, already bantering at each other, already making fun of who sent who home. And we have not stopped in our group chat since that day. And it's very like siblingy. Like, we pick on each other, you love each other. It's a roast, but it's a family roast. So I think that's what keeps us so close. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah, it's very nice.
And you're all listening to our podcast, which we really appreciate.
Yep.
It's really
Yeah,
amazing. That's the
absolutely.
best thing that has come out of this season. You guys listening to Circle, our podcast, the best.
Season 2 didn't really acknowledge our existence,
Yeah,
so we thank you for that.
They missed out. This is the official Circle podcast with
Let's
a zero.
go. I listened to the first episode you guys did. I loved it.
Yeah,
Oh, fantastic.
when we were way too
Especially
mean to
because-
Nick.
Yeah, we were so hard on Nick in the first 4 episodes.
I appreciate you guys because a lot of what was difficult is a lot of viewers, and there's a lot of topics that come up in the show, right? Like,
Yeah.
and you don't know how you're going to be edited, and topics are sensitive to people because of their personal stories, 1,000%. But
Yeah.
people also forget strategy. So it's very refreshing to have you guys be, let's say, experts on these reality competition shows, also come into it and break it down strategy-wise. Because I can say, oh my God, they saw that. Oh my God, they saw that Calvin was good for my game. Oh my God, you know what I mean? So, and sometimes
and
the
we
viewers get that.
also loved getting corrections from Nick in our DMs every week too.
No.
We loved that.
No, no.
I am a drummer, I promise.
I'm
Yeah,
a
you're
drummer!
Okay, sure, Nick.
Even Michelle Buteau doesn't think he's a drummer. She said so in the finale.
It was like every week he was just like
My dudes.
in our DMs, Nick in our
My
DMs.
dudes.
It was like, dude, just come on.
Did you get abs selfies?
Cringy.
Yeah, like every week, it was like, dude, Daddy Nick in our DM. God.
I told him to change his Instagram handle. No one's gonna search for Nick Uhlenhuth.
No.
No,
How do you
never
pronounce it? Is that really his
We
last
call him-
name?
we call him Little Hoot.
Dude, the big Nick energy.
Little Hoot. Little Hoot.
Dude, I got the big Nick energy. I got my rum.
Hashtag B&E, dude.
I love him.
We were convinced he won because he was so cool with us making fun of him, but it turns out he's just like a cool guy. We love him.
Yeah, he's just
Oh,
a
yeah.
great sport.
He-
Yeah.
He's so
He can take
chill.
He can take it. Like I have dished it. Little Hoot.
How
I
does he
dished
take it so well? We have to have him come on so we can make fun of us for an hour. I'm like, we deserve
I know.
it.
Yeah, we
Oh my
really need him
God.
to
You
roast
should.
us.
He needs to roast us. I feel
I wish they
terrible.
would have. I wish they would have shown in the show more of just like, and I think they did show it, but like, and Nick, this is a compliment. He's a dork, and that's like really works in his favor. I think he's dorky sometimes.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, I went to MIT. Yeah, dork.
yeah, there you go. Exactly. So I wish they would have seen that like dorky, goofy side of it. You saw a little goof, but we all wish a little bit of our edits could have shown more of our personalities.
Yeah, I mean, he was
Yeah.
still doing a puzzle with like 2 hours left to like,
Yeah, he
to, like
finished
the
that.
finale. He was like still like, I gotta do
He's
the
like,
puzzle.
it's like I'm not gonna be able to sleep on the plane back if I don't finish
I
this.
gotta
thing.
finish this puzzle.
There was an account that just follows like puzzles being finished on reality shows.
Yeah.
And
Oh, that's great.
they tweeted at Nick and they're like, "Congratulations on being the first U.S. contestant to ever complete a puzzle in the circle." So
Is
good.
that true? I thought, man, I could have sworn last year Delisa finished one. Man, I guess not.
Maybe they're off, but they were adamant about Nick completing it.
Yeah.
It is a big deal. We see a lot of unfinished puzzles on this show.
Oh yeah, I did like 2 pieces. You didn't even see it. And I threw it off the table because I was pissed.
So
That's
are things
great.
gonna work out with Daddy Nick, or does he have his eyes set on Rachel? Like, how is that love?
Yeah, what's going
triangle
on there?
gonna work
I
out?
don't think I'm his type, unfortunately. He likes
Oh.
blondes,
Oh,
or a little
okay.
less hairy.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
likes
Yeah.
blondes who shave.
Mm.
So,
Oh,
like,
okay. So things with
That's
Rachel
too
aren't gonna
bad.
work. All right, we're interviewing
Yeah.
her on Monday. Maybe we'll get into that.
perfect. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's not my
we're
biggest
very
deal.
eager to know what's going on there.
Very eager. I got some pictures on my phone. I'll share at some point.
Oh, all right.
Not those pictures, Max. You're a dirty girl, Circle.
Yeah.
Oh, she is kinky.
We've got the Dirty Circle soundbite too, don't we, Max?
Yeah, I said that earlier.
You are a dirty girl, Circle.
Wait, Matt, do you watch other reality shows? Because you seemed
Oh,
like
yeah.
so strategic. Do you watch Survivor and Big Brother? Is that the
Big Brother.
situation?
Yeah,
It's
okay.
like my favorite show.
Do you watch this season?
Oh, I did, but I didn't watch the last 4 episodes because this week I've
Mm.
been all over the place. But
Yep.
I know
Don't
the
say
winner.
anything.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Although I did want it to be the one whose name rhymes with Maha. I wanted it to be her.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, gotcha.
I didn't want to spoil it, but I just
Yeah,
wanted to spoil
yep. All right. Yeah. Well, I wanted to talk too about like you seem to always want to be staying in like that number 3 spot in the
Yeah.
rankings the entire season. Is that just like, is that kind of what was your thinking going into that? Because I know like Joey from season 1, he kind of always stayed in that spot, and so did Trevor too, aka Delisa, in season 2. So is that kind of where your mindset was going into this season?
100%. 100%. So I think it's important that just like in Big Brother, you stay below the radar in the beginning. People are hustling in the beginning like fish in a tank. And as players, whether or not you want to admit it or not, you're going to hunt for someone right away. Reason why I went for Calvin is because he talked the most. He was the funniest. He was the kindest. I loved him. Everyone loved him. And he was automatically a target. He was at the top. And I liked him. He was my target for that reason. So I never wanted to be seen as a threat, but also with the end game in mind, I wanted people in their final ratings to look back and be like, "Oh, Ashley probably won't be rated high anyway because it's been Kay and Nick. So I'll put her high just for my own chances." So given that people would rate strategically.
I see.
Yeah, I wonder if it's like that's the right strategy if you start at the beginning, and then what James did, if you come in a little later, you have to play harder and try to always be influencer to show that you played the game, right, that you're deserving of the money. And then also clearly you have to make a good pitch to show that, like, to pull at people's heartstrings that you deserve the money. It's like when Lee just wanted it for a pool, but you still have to
that is honest. Yeah.
But like you can't let other people in this. I mean, if you really want to win, you have to make something up. I mean, if you really want to win, I'm not saying it's morally right. You would have to say something that pulls at people's heartstrings. So I guess that is. I think your tactic was really the right way to go, and I think James' tactic was the right way to go. So if you come in later, play hard, always an influencer, and I think your tactic was if you come in early, play for third. Maybe get an influencer once, like you did. Yeah.
There was a game that wasn't shown, and it was called Circle Cloud, and
there was a game we didn't see.
Yeah.
We saw people making fucking pancakes, and we didn't get to see a fucking game.
And it was a savage game. So check this
out.
What
the fuck?
What the hell? We don't need Breakfast Club. We need the
filler episode. So I'll let you talk. I got a rant. What the fuck? All right, continue.
It was good too. It was called Circle.
What are they thinking?
And
Netflix.
We were given a list of 10 bad words, 10 like bad phrases like catfish, threat, obnoxious, backstabber, liar, fake, cheat, and like two-faced, right? And then we were given 10 good words: trustworthy, kind, authentic, all those kinds of things, real. And we got to pick for each person. We got to pick 5 words. So
did they do this in season 1? I think they may have.
I don't know. I remember.
I think I remember a game similar to this. It was either that or in the UK they did it.
Yeah. So we got to pick 5 words each person. So for you can do either from the bad or from the good side. You can pick, but you pick 5 total. And then after everyone puts their words in, it's all anonymous. Your face and your picture pops up, and the words that people chose for you appear on your cloud. The bigger the word is, the more the people said it, right? So like if you got threat, like Nick had big threat because we all thought he was threat.
And who was in the game at this point when this game was happening?
Me. It was right after Jackie ruined my game by asking. Just kidding. It was right after Jackie was like, "Who's your biggest rival?" So
okay.
Wow.
It was me, Kay, James, Jackie.
So that is huge.
This is at a huge pivotal point.
Sophia. It was 7 of us, and everybody had in their cloud. This is a little gloat moment, but I'm going to do it. Everyone had in their cloud catfish, except me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
that's
I wish they would have shown that. Because
whose was the biggest burn, would you say? Like, who got it the hardest?
I got it a little hard
Mhm.
because I just don't care under the bus. So I got like Two-Faced, Liar, Fake. But then I knew the stuff from Sophia and Nick.
That is savage.
It was bad. And Jackie got it tough too because of the questions she asked. And when she had denied the group chat, I think she pissed all of us off. So Jackie got it pretty tough too, and I know it was hard on her reading that.
Yeah.
We had to sit through the circle superlatives, and we didn't get that fucking game.
I know. I don't know why. I may be breaking a $75 million contract, so if our next podcast may have to be in jail, but I don't know why.
Well, we could talk after and potentially censor that out if you'd like.
There you go.
Netflix
but yeah, that
will
is
respond
interesting.
to our
Wow.
emails, but we didn't get that game.
Come on, Netflix.
I've lost
pissed I didn't
all
show
of
it.
my inner effing peace.
I have. I mean, we all know I obviously don't have any, but if I did, it would be gone. It would be
Trust
gone.
me.
Yeah.
I was pissed I didn't show it. It was
What?
It was.
But thank you for sharing. You know, like that's
That's
awesome.
really cool.
I'm really glad to
Yeah.
know that. Thank you
Yeah.
so much. You know, we
course,
live for this
of
shit.
course.
I'm like, that's so cool.
Yeah.
I got insider scoop, babes. That's
I'm
why here,
geeking
Max.
out. I'm geeking out.
Now we just have to convince Netflix to show the votes every episode too. We
Yes.
gotta pressure them on that a little bit because I
Yep.
think. What do you think about like the fact that the game I feel like is becoming more strategic every season? Because I feel like season 1 was not nearly as strategic as season 2 and 3.
You know, I love it. I love it being strategy. That is the point of a reality game show. I made a tweet last week because you in the before finale, you get a lot of people like hating on you for playing strategy because they think you're personally attacking people in the cast, right?
And they like hate Catfish too. They think you're like liars,
Dude,
you're a liar. You're an
I
evil
couldn't
person.
even look at my phone last week. I'm like, oh, do I need to go to church or something? I don't understand.
It's bizarre. It's really
But-
bizarre.
So it was very bizarre. What was I saying? I just forgot my train of thought. I'm so sorry.
Oh, about just we were talking about what were we talking about, Max? I just
Ben,
lost it.
what just happened? Oh, okay. Yes.
You need to
so
go to
Ben,
church. See ya.
Right, that was God. Like, stop, get up, and go. I'll be right back. I was like,
Yeah.
So what I find really funny is that season 1 was the beginning, so they were all friends. There was all genuine connection, right? People love that, but as the game progresses, you have to realize that we've seen the show. We're going to strategize. The more seasons come out, the more people can think of strategy,
Right.
the more they can come up with something and come in prepared. And I made a tweet last week like, all right, Netflix should make a game called Bonfire Friends, where 12 people just sit around a fire and bond for 12 episodes, if that's what the people want. And I mean, if that's what you want, then ask Joey and everyone from season 1 to go on Zooms and pay them just to watch them talk.
Yeah.
But don't say you're a fan of The Circle if you're not a fan of strategy.
Yeah, it's a
Point blank.
competition show.
It's a
Yeah, it's a game
competition.
show. Yeah.
It's not $100. It's not $1,000. It's $100,000. What?
Yeah,
Mhm.
the season 1 only happened because they literally did not know what it was. It was not explained to them. It was new and it was a discovery. We know
Right.
what it
Right.
is now. It was a
Right.
magical thing. It was a magical thing that happened and it was interesting to watch. It was discovery. It's not
Yeah.
going to happen again. So if you don't like it, you do not have to watch.
That's how
Hey,
Survivor was
But
too.
do not
Exactly.
harass people online because of it. Leave them alone.
Exactly.
I mean, but I mean, like, I'm sorry for everything you got, but the shit that James got, oh my god!
James got it rough last week with
Holy
his
shit.
conversations with Nick.
God.
Oh my god!
Yep.
What?
Yeah.
All he did was back down in a deal. What the? Who cares?
And people forget you're not seeing the whole picture. There's so many times where I'm like,
And he
why
won.
didn't Why-
Yeah, he
Right.
won.
there's so many times where I'm like, why didn't they show me talking about my strategy out loud so people can see it? And
Yeah.
people cherry pick facts and they want to be upset. Like people watch reality shows, and not for the most part, because most people who watch it, I'm obsessed with, and I love you guys. But there are trolls that use you as punching bags because you're putting yourself in public view, and that is not even the risk you take. We're all prepared. We knew that was happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
I wouldn't blame any cast member that just would not want to check their DMs flat out online.
Yeah, whenever we DM people, we're like, if you don't respond to us, we don't. We
get it.
I'm single, Ben. I'm single, so I have to check the DMs.
Yeah, right. There you go.
I don't.
It's still a necessity. You just got to filter them out. Yeah.
The only free dating app is my DMs, baby.
But none of them will measure up to Nick. They'll never measure up to Daddy Nick.
No, it's okay. It's okay. You know, I think my heart's broken, but it mended and it's back stronger. I feel like Olivia Rodrigo.
There you go.
How romantic.
Ben does not know who Olivia Rodrigo is, by the way, but I do. Don't worry.
No?
It's okay.
I don't know any music at all. I assume that's music, right?
Driver's license.
We've talked about having Courtney on to like do a little game with us where like Max and Courtney ask me like different music questions just to see if I get it right or not. Yeah.
You definitely should. That's fun.
Yeah, I didn't earlier this year. I didn't know what WAP was.
I had to play the WAP music video for Ben. He hadn't fucking seen it. I was like, "How do you not know what fucking WAP?" He didn't see.
So
WAP.
there was an episode where we were all asked to dance to WAP. Just kidding.
That would have been amazing.
I missed WAP. No, I hate the dance parties. I mean, like, there was another fucking dance party.
Yeah, it was fun, but also like, how much can you dance with yourself? You know.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Matt, are you doing any meet and greets? We have a question.
You know, I haven't had any plans so far aside from New York closing party, New Jersey in Jersey actually on October 8th, and I'll be posting that in my stories. And there's also an LA party. I don't have the date yet, but I'll be posting it as well. So both those, I'll be there to hang out with fans, laugh, and watch Daddy Nick perform on drums.
That's awesome.
Yeah, sure.
Here we go. We got Savannah. She says she's on the first flight to the meet and greet. So you'll be seeing Savannah there.
Oh, yeah.
I have a question too, because we had a listener write into us asking if we could ask.
This is a very important question.
This is a super important question.
Yeah.
They wanted us to ask members of the cast. Here it is. Let me read it. If you have interviews with any of them, can you ask if they are allowed to bring in recipes or if they can only cook from memory? And if the stoves and ovens are in Celsius, do they get conversion charts? She goes on to say, this is truly what interests me. I'm as fun as a barrel of monkeys. This is Maria Fraser on Insta. Thank you, Maria.
Honestly, it sounds funny, but Maria is on point. She's probably got the most important question of all. When I went there and I was quarantined by myself for like 2 weeks before and whatever, I didn't know how to work the stove. I went to look at it and I'm like, what are all these symbols? It looked like hieroglyphics and it was in Celsius. I didn't understand. That's why I burnt the pizza.
There we go.
Yeah. I thought I had it on 350 Fahrenheit.
You don't just like your pizza with sauce only and burnt crust?
No,
that's,
I only
that's
like
not
my
the way you usually
burnt.
eat it. Yeah, there you go. So you do like marshmallows?
Oh, I love marshmallows. Marshmallow sauce is amazing. You guys ever had that?
No. Have you, Max?
Marshmallow sauce?
Mm-hmm.
Like fluff?
Yeah, it's like fluff, but so at Carvel has this thing called a Carvalanche. And you pick your ice cream, your toppings, and mine's weird, but it's delicious. Vanilla ice cream, pound cake, and marshmallow sauce. And it's just
that sounds
heavenly.
Ooh, that sounds really good.
Dude, heavenly. I'm not a chocolate guy. Much more vanilla.
Oh.
Interesting. So why is it that you only use graham cracker and chocolate in your s'mores?
Yeah, what is up with that?
So either Hershey's with the almonds. It can't be completely the chocolate. I need something that cuts the richness of chocolate.
There you go.
But yeah, so I think you could bring recipes, but I just cooked from my head. Half the time I didn't really eat, and usually I eat a lot of my
Wait,
food.
you
when I
didn't
wake up.
eat?
Not a lot. No, I lost weight on that show. I lost like 15 pounds from the start to the finish.
It was like
Why didn't
Survivor
you
for
eat?
you.
I was just tired, dude. Like when we would have lunch breaks, I would eat something quick, maybe like a rice cake or Teddy Grahams. But the games took so long, like, and I just wanted to nap. Emotionally and mentally, I just wanted to go to the fetal position and nap. Like the Michelle game, the Identify Me. Guess how long? Just guess how long that took.
4 hours.
Yeah, 3.5, like 4 hours, and we're sitting there, and you see one picture, and you see ellipses, and for each picture, it's like 25 minutes, and for each picture, we have to talk to production about. It took so. In between that, I'm like, I don't want to cook spaghetti. I don't want to make a sandwich.
I'm exhausted.
I'll eat a Cadbury egg and go take a nap.
Wow, that's really an interesting insight into it, because the show makes it look like you're doing nothing all day.
Forever.
Wow.
Yeah. And like when you're stuck on the treadmill, there was when I think Michelle made fun of me in one of the programs. She's like, Matt's going at death-defying speeds, and I'm walking at a speed of like 2.5. The thing is, if you get a group chat and you're doing something, you have to stay doing that for consistency. So when my group chat with Charlie's Angels, I was on the treadmill like I was in fat camp. They kept me on there for like 2 hours, and I'm like,
wow.
Can I get off?
Oh, that makes sense. Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
And I'm guessing that the group chats, it actually takes a while for people to respond. Oh my God. That's so funny.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it looks like we have with Jennifer Ross is asking a question that I think we've had this answered before by our friend Alex on season 1. But she asked, could you talk to people whenever you wanted, or was it only at specific times? And from what Alex told us, it was specific times, and it was pretty filtered, right?
Yeah. So what they do, and again, I'm probably breaking contract here. We'll find out soon, right? What they do is the night before you talk out loud to your voice of God, which is production, right? You have that's what they call it. You have all the video cameras, whatever, on you, and they're like, who is your top 3 people that if you had the chance to chat with, you would, and go through strategically why you would, and based on those 3 people, you either get all those chats the next day, or you just get one of them. Or some days, there was days where I didn't have any private chats at all. So when you would just get the group chat, you're searching for things, right? And so when people have a connection in the group chat, let's say Daniel bonded with Sophia and didn't talk to me, then you're like, fuck, I need a conversation with Daniel.
You can curse.
Oh, you can curse.
There we go.
We insist.
Yeah. Hell yeah. So when you don't get a conversation, you're like, I have to talk to them, and you're like, that's the private conversation that I need. So it's specific, but you also have to be strategic about what you're given, right? You may want Daniel, but you're given Rook, so you need to work your way to Daniel through Rook, and that's why a lot of ties happened.
Wow,
that you guys didn't see.
That does add like another layer to the game, then.
Yeah, big time.
That's really interesting.
Yeah, Jennifer responds, everyone writing in their notebooks makes so much more sense now. Did you use a notebook a lot?
Yeah,
and how helpful was it?
So I did it emotionally and strategically. So at the end of the night, I would just write like, here's how I'm feeling today, just to be able to separate my emotions from the game. And then strategy going into eliminations and blockings, I had a chart where I assumed everyone was going to put somewhere else. And for the most part, it was pretty within what I thought, but I would say I was on it like 60-40, maybe 65-35.
I would say that's a good metaphor for like your game, because like the way that you've expressed yourself here and on the show, you were like probably like 60% strategic, 40% emotion. Yeah. I mean, I would say that's it, but I would say I don't know. You're so strategic. It feels like maybe 70%.
But it does feel like some of the closer bonds you made were from the emotional side of it.
But that was strategic. It feels equal.
Yeah, it does. You have to have that balance.
I think what it was, and thank you so much. I genuinely appreciate that. But I think what it was is the show showed my emotional separate and show. It kind of looked like sometimes I navigated emotionally, right, and sometimes I navigated strategically. But I didn't. The basis of all my relationships formed strategically to start. So I was operating principally strategically, but once I knew I had certain relationships and connections set, I was able to be a little bit more emotional with them because I wasn't like, oh my God, I just got this chat with Isabella. We need to talk strategy. After we did that, the next day I'm like, oh, cool. I know we're good. We can chit chat and I can let this kind of be fun for me.
Sure.
Yeah. It was like in the circle, as you saw, like you have to open up emotionally with people. You have to make real connections. And the way you do that is emotionally. Otherwise, you can't talk to people strategically. I mean, I think that's why we saw that Rachel was not able to ever get her feet in because she never committed to anything.
Rachel and I had a chat and we talked about getting Calvin out and why I need to get Calvin out and how I was going to convince Sophia because we knew everyone was going for K, and she messaged me after her chat with Calvin when Calvin was like onto her being like, who do you think's the catfish after the rap battle? And she was like, why is he coming at me when he just came for me? Why is he trying to be buddy? So we had a conversation, and that's when she's like, I'm worried the group wants to go for K, but I'm like, Calvin's a bigger threat. He's going to take you out, then take me out, and he's not going to get Nick out, so how can we get close with Nick? So that's why I also believe Jackson rated me so high, because after that conversation, she knew she could trust me because I was on board with getting Calvin out.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
So much we don't see.
Yeah. A lot.
Yeah. Well, this has been a really fun conversation. Max, did you have any other questions? Max, he's looking for a sound.
Matt, I was thinking, I was looking at my notes. I wasn't spacing out, okay?
I thought you were looking for a soundbite because that's usually what happens when you start staring off into the distance.
No.
I thought you were going to ask me what a s'more was again. I was prepared.
Does Ashley know? Okay, so in the chemistry class, did she just take out graham crackers and chocolate, or were there marshmallows in the bag too?
She definitely had marshmallows in the bag, but I don't remember them. I remember the chocolate because the way she opened it.
You will not let this go.
The way she
Never will not let this go.
Look, I'm an expert on reality TV. Matt called it, so I have a question.
And the New York Times. Don't forget the New York Times says
Matt
we're the official Circle podcast.
My ego knows no bounds now. I will carry this forever.
As it should, King. Go off, King. As it should.
That's what Matt said. That's what Ben says all the time.
Max had a great comment.
Don't forget that. Nick said that too.
Max had a great comment.
Don't
When
forget
did he say
that.
He said that about his family, like his brother-in-law's name is Max. And of course,
So
Max jumped on that very quickly.
Did you take that from one of his DMs?
I heard it on the show and I was like, oh, I'm never letting this
and
go.
now he plays it about 10 times an episode. So after every comment,
you need to get Nick on here so I can watch this conversation with Nick. I need Nick to hop on with you guys ASAP.
Oh, we're very excited to talk with Nick. Yeah, I think we've talked about we're going to talk with him next week sometime. We're just trying to work out a time.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Good.
But
Now I feel like I'm living my circle dream.
God, when I saw that in the trailer, it freaking dropped to the floor. I'm like, Circle, why'd you do me like that?
I think someone was losing their mind a little bit because they weren't fucking eating. Maybe we should have been eating.
I can't believe you had a Survivor experience on the Circle.
Yeah, you're like,
I was singing and napping. I almost made a fire during the camp story. I was like,
it really is just like Survivor. It really is.
Oh, wait, no, I have a question. Were people talking more about like who Vince was? Because it got dropped on the show after about 30 seconds.
It completely, the conversation about Vince vanished along with Vince.
Yeah.
It was just like, who's Vince?
It was the campfire, and then my conversation with James, and then the Circle was like, we're done here. Let's bring in Jackie.
So like no one cared?
No one really cared about who the burner was after that. It literally was just me and James, like, hey, because at that point too, like we were we were fucking tired, dude.
Yeah.
And then when
even
like,
in those last chats with Vince, even Nick forgot Vince existed. He's like, "Oh shit, I forgot I have to run into the other room and do Vince."
Yo, no cap, Nick making both of those cakes and both of them being good. Come on, that was dope.
That was great.
Yeah, they were like the best cakes.
yeah, I'm like Betty Crocker over here. Jesus.
And he spent so little time on one of them, and it still looked really good.
It was really good.
I thought people were gonna think that he was a catfish because they were so good.
Yeah, with those cakes, right? With those cakes.
I think Kay was the only one who was like, I wonder if Nick and Vince were the same person because of those cakes.
Yeah,
I think she
said that.
Yeah, on the show. Yep.
I love you,
hey, James Jefferson.
Circle
You
winner
are.
James is here saying
Winner,
Matt is the
baby.
GOAT.
James, check your DMs.
Check
we
your
want you on.
James, you got to get on the show. James,
You
check
made a
those
mistake
DMs.
commenting because now we're gonna ask
James,
you.
you got to come on the show. We are experts, Matt says, and if he's the GOAT, he's right. We're
That's
experts.
right.
Did you get that clip? Make sure you get that as an audio clip and send it to
yes, we got to get that. Max made a great comment, and you guys are experts. Circle.
I
experts.
do love
Yeah, we have
listening
both
to
of those
myself,
now.
so I'll just re-listen to it.
Exactly.
The whole thing. I listened
Max
to it.
Max has admitted to me multiple times that he doesn't look at the other two boxes in the window. He only looks at his own face the entire time while we're chatting.
Oh.
Yeah.
I say in my head, I don't even listen to you guys. I just go, you
got to make sure
You're just waiting for your turn to talk.
You gotta make sure your beard's good at all times. I get it.
Yeah,
I get
all
it. That's all it is.
That's the whole thing.
That's where all the secrets hide. That's where all the knowledge of reality TV hides.
Yo, and also, so did you believe Vince was real? You were like, yeah, they just got a ghost hunter.
Hell yeah. And I shared my entire freaking ghost story of my haunted house with him in the chat. I never showed that. And I was pissed. It was dope.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
You were all just like, we're going to believe it because I want to share my weird ghost story on TV for Netflix.
Yeah.
This is sick. He better be real.
Yeah.
He better be real. Yeah.
Please be real.
I didn't have an older man with a mushroom cut haunt me for nothing.
A mushroom cut. Oh, wow.
He looked like his name would have been Sawyer, but that's definitely a talk for another time.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, my God.
He wasn't a British soldier, was he?
I don't know, but I think I'm going to go as Vince for Halloween.
Vince, I love you, dude. Vince, you're killing it.
When he does that. He does it all the time.
I know.
That's
We
Nick
use-
every time he gets a hinge match.
Yeah. we do. We play that one a lot, and then we play the winky.
Oh, let me hear that one.
All right, let me find it. Hold on.
And we do. There's another one where he goes, "My lord,
My
Oh,
loud.
what's his name, Michelle, right?
Yeah.
Winky, winky. Hashtag, my lord.
You want to know what's funny? Is Nick actually sends us voice messages on Insta doing the sound bites.
He's like, I like the one where I went, winky, winky.
He's like an onion, right? Like there's these layers that just peel back with him.
Yes. Oh man, yeah. Max, do we have anything else? Should we wrap it up? We're about
I'll just ask,
53
like,
minutes
Matt,
in.
like, how's your life now after the circle? You doing anything? You want to plug anything? You want to plug your Instagram? Anything you're
Yeah.
doing?
Sure, yeah.
Like,
Instagram plug is just my name, Matt Pappadia. So right now I'm actually in transition to move to Austin, Texas.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I'm opening up a bigger gym out there with a buddy of mine, and honestly, keeping my timeline open though to also, if things come up from this, like great, but also I don't want to put all my eggs in the basket and be floating. I just want to continue life, and whatever God brings my way from this, I'm blessed with. You know what I mean?
What are you gonna do without all those classic New York bagels, Matt? You had the bagels posters up in your
the donuts?
I already researched. There's a company that ships them. They're freeze dried, and you get a shipment every month.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Well, Matt, thank you so much for coming on. We absolutely loved having you on. Maybe we can have you on again next season to recap some episodes.
Maybe some episodes.
Absolutely.
I want to have a lot of you guys back, so maybe we can have like a guest per episode. We're gonna do crazy
You guys
things
are the
next
experts.
season.
You tell me.
Yeah, I will say.
And that, my friends, is how a lesbian takes over the world.
That's one thing we've learned from this season,
that's
Matt.
my favorite.
That's what you've taught us.
Oh, a lesbian.
That was awesome because that's when you and Sophia both won. So like it worked.
Yeah, it worked perfect.
It was like this is amazing because it works.
Being a lesbian is the secret to winning a circle.
Yes, exactly.
If any of the fans that are asking, what do I do? How do I get in? What's special? I'm just gonna say be a lesbian. You're good to go.
Yeah.
Well, Matt, thank you for coming on. If our viewers would like to, if anyone has missed this show and you're listening on audio, if you missed it live, you can watch it on YouTube. We will be streaming later today on YouTube and Twitch to recap the finale, which we still haven't done yet because I was gone for a week across the world. So I'm back now. We're going to do the finale recap later today, so you can keep an eye out for that. And then we will be having more interviews with members of the cast probably next week, Monday and Tuesday. So you can look forward to that.
We have a lot of like live watchers right now. I don't know if you normally check out our podcast, but we're Circle Alert. You should
Check it out.
Yep,
Just check
Circle
us out.
Alert.
Like it's always fun and awesome.
Subscribe on YouTube. We're
Live
around
on YouTube. We are reality experts.
We're on Insta. We're on Twitter. We are the experts. New York Times called us.
Subscribe. We're gonna have. We're gonna probably get every finalist. We're gonna interview them, do deep dives like we just did with Matt. We're gonna be going live. Subscribe. Please give us ratings on these things.
It's so good, guys.
Free, no ads.
New York Times said we are podcast sensations. So look into that. Don't look into it too much. Don't research that. But that is what they called us. So just take our word for it.
Oh yeah.
Matt, thank you for coming on.
Thank you, guys.
We can't wait to speak to you again. Hopefully next season.
Absolutely. It's been such a blessing, guys.
All right. Thank you.
I'll talk to you soon.
And that, my friends, is how a lesbian takes over the world.
Takes over the world.